out my way, bird, or I'll show you some action you'll never
Come on, the water's great!
I'll be right there. Yippee!
Welcome back to the Tiny Air Hanger. This is Mike coming at you with the exquisite mini Shipwreck from Hiya Toys. And this is an interesting figure. So this is one I've looked forward to more than some of the other ones. And this is available right now at Gundam.com for $29.99 if you're interested in this figure. But I'm going to tell you why I was specifically interested in this one over some of the other ones, even though he's not my favorite character. We'll get into all of that, but let's take a look at Shipwreck from Hiya Toys 4-inch Exquisite Mini Collection coming up. All right, so here he is in the package, and it looks good in the package. It's pretty good. It doesn't have the white stripe around it, of course, but it is what it is. Here's from the back, and somewhat retro look, still very modern. All right, so here he is out of the package. This is how he looks, and you know he's gonna call you a scurvy land lover or something like that. You know, he's kind of crazy, but it's interesting how they tackled all of his stuff. Now, I guess I could have looked at what the 50th anniversary or something did, and that slid down. That's strange. 25th anniversary, 50th anniversary, whatever, that they had made a Shipwreck in that era, and there's probably some similarities, and a lot of similarities to this, probably similarities to this, to the Classify, which is kind of the route they go in a way, but let's just start out, it's unusual for me, with accessories. So I do want to show, he's got his head sculpt there, which looks pretty good. And then you can just get the same head sculpt, but no hat. Same expression and everything, no hat. He does come with this gun, which we'll do a vintage comparison. But he's got his musket-looking gun there with a strap on it. And then he's got a rope. Now this rope it serves only two purposes. It's not actually a rope. It's just decorative. But you plug Polly in there, so he does want his cracker today. And then we have built-in strap here for his boarding hook, which no string, of course. So I mean, you have to provide your own string if you want to do all that. Then he's got a little pistol right here that goes right there. I like the way it's all integrated, but his strap kind of slides down. I mean, obviously, once you get it in place, you set it and forget it, it'll be fine. You can also plug this in, which this is a little bit odd, the way this goes in here. It rides a little high, in my opinion, but I might be wrong on that too. So, you know, who knows? Who knows? Maybe that's how high it's supposed to be for that type of weapon. Now, he also comes with the stand and stand connectors and extra hands that are, I think, more trigger hand, more of trigger hands, which I would swap out, but I don't really care. He's holding everything fine with the hands that are on it, and I personally struggle with swapping hands. I'm not saying that they're bad hands. I'm saying I struggle with it, so I'm just going to leave the hands the way they are. Now he's a sailor, and he's got some tattoos, so it looks like he's got like an anchor on there. Is that an anchor? Then he's got tattoo on the shoulder, which is the same on both. Well, it's not tattoo, it's print on his shirt. Tattoo right here. So a little bit of tampographing going on this $30 4-inch figure. So I guess that's pretty cool. He also has a hook over here, which you could hang the, I don't know, you could hang the gun, or you can hang this over there too, I guess. Let's give that a go. You can hang the hook there also, so that works. And he looks pretty good. Let's check him out from the back a little bit more here, and yeah, pretty much what you'd expect. I do like the blue. He's got the blue jeans and a blue shirt, but they're different blues. Of course they are, and all that works. So I guess we get into articulation, but it's the same for every figure. All right, move the poly out of the way. Head's on a ball joint. It's not a double dog bone, so you just get that little bit of range. It does have butterfly, so that works, and goes up. You can cheat it and go up higher. Well, not really cheat it, but you can just use the joint differently and get it up higher. I guess, I would think. Anyway, you got the bicep swivel, double jointed at the elbow, and the hands kind of, they go in and out. That's part of the problem. It has a lot of articulation to it, but swapping them, it's just a challenge. You have the torso, the diaphragm kind of movement there and right here, so you can get quite a bit there. And past the 90 in every direction. And then thigh swivel, and then double jointed knee. So odd that, like, to get a G.I. Joe figure made in, aside from what Super 7's doing, but to get a G.I. Joe figure, it's got to be an import figure for the 4-inch scale. The foot, it's on a ball joint. Not much range on the foot, which I like personally, because I think it gives them a little bit more stability. Too much range, too much craziness, especially in the 4-inch scale. Well, I mean, you see it in Classified also. It's not a review unless you rant about something. So he's supposed to be designed based on Classified from the way this line has been going. And I have one Classified of him in a closed box, and I haven't opened them. It's frustrating. But that's the time when Hasbro admitted that they do not care about customers' opinions or anything, putting everything in closed box, and that was horrible. Knowing very well that almost half of Classified collectors keep them sealed in the box. They show it on the internets that their collection's sealed in the box, and so I'm glad we're past that era. But I don't think we should ever forget that era. We should never forget what was done to us. I mean, are we really going to forgive that trespass that was trespassed against us? I don't know. And what you're really here for is the comparison to vintage. Well, you're probably here just to kick it for 15 minutes and talk about toys. And I don't just talk about the one figure in any review. I always bring other stuff in and talk about it. But here's the vintage one. By the way, every day I'm going to be talking about toys, except for the day I make the data center video. That's going to be just to try to preserve humanity. That's my goal with that video. And here we are with the vintage one. Now, the biggest problem is getting a nice blue shirt. And even the blue pants. The pants. Everything about the vintage Shipwreck, it really does kind of break down, I guess you could say, over time. Yeah, it's one of those things that... It sucks. It sucks that the blues deteriorate and they discolor so bad that it took me quite a few tries to get a decent looking Shipwreck. Now the blue is different though, so you can see that. So they maintain some things, like he's just got a random hook just hanging over here. They made it look more realistic over here. And then the gun, like he's got that little strap, which I think everybody's scared to put it on there the way I did it, because those break off real easy. But if you're going to display it, why not display it right? This is his boarding hook. So it's different because you actually got a grapple, but no handle. So he's actually got a grapple and no handle. The poly is way smaller, but I mean, I think it just had to be that size back in the day. I mean, you couldn't have put a poly out that small back in the day and it'd do anything, really. So for the whole clipping on your arm benefit and all that, which I will say this, getting a poly figure is way easier than getting Spirit's Freedom Bird, the eagle, with the talons. I don't know why, but this one I've only seen maybe 1 or 2 broken talons out of hundreds that are out there. So somehow this stood the test of time better than Freedom did. But anyhow, that's how they look. Did I show the back? A lot going on there. That's how they look from the back. And lastly, but not leastly, I think I actually got the Super 7 reaction one for like $6 one day on sale. Maybe it was 10, but all of them go about it a different way. But again, this is the whole discussion of, this is how Star Wars figures were. 5 POA. G.I. Joe came along and made everybody like myself get rid of their Star Wars collection, trade it for G.I. Joes because they wanted G.I. Joes, and the articulation was a big part. The show was a big part. It was the daily presence and new stuff coming was a big part. But the articulation, I think, was the biggest part. And now we've regressed, and now we're possibly gonna go back. Maybe we'll get a Shipwreck in the Reaction Plus line. Hey Baroness, you know you want it. And you know you want me to give it to you. Like bad girls. Alright, so here it is in comparison to Spirit, which is it's a different type of blue shirt. Different color blue. It's the same shirt, basically. They're wearing the same shirt for the most part. And Baroness. So these are more of the Exquisite mini figures that were made by Hiya Toys and fits in well, fits in fine. They're taller than vintage. I mean, I guess that's what we get from all of this comparison section. Hey, sweet cheeks. Ditch old Chrome Dome and come to my home. That is no way to speak to a lady. Alright, so this is my look at the Hiya Toys Exquisite mini Exquisite version of Shipwreck. And what I gotta say about him, he looks like what I expected. A little bit modern flair, 4-inch scale, looking pretty good. Poly wannabe smally, but I guess you can get yours at Gundamit.com. I'm gonna link down below, or you can get yours $30. I mean, it's about the price of a classified these days, but these are now import figures, not domestic figures, and so that's part of the price on these. They're kind of fun. They only get like 3 or 4 a year, so it's not. It is kind of an event when these show up. But I guess we're done hearing all these classic pickup lines from Shipwreck for the day. And let me know what you guys think about this guy in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Happy Retro Wednesday. Teddy, hanging out.
Button your beak, bird, or there's a feathered duster in your future.
We collected enough toys to beat last year's.
The masquerade is over, Baroness.
I just wanted to thank you for saving my life.
You're welcome.